Time now for Sid Sixero. This is where I got 60 seconds to talk. Start the clock, please. Here's what's on my mind this morning. Let me introduce you to somebody. This is home plate umpire Jeff Nelson. Major League Baseball pays him money to call balls and strikes. He was behind the plate this past Saturday at Rogers Center. Now take a look at this. You see all the balls that are outside of the box? That's also from Saturday's Jays-Oakland game. According to the technology, all 12 of those pitches were balls thrown by Oakland pitchers. According to Nelson, however, they were all strikes. No joke. He called all of those strikes. It's one of the most ridiculous performances ever, and it also elicited a reaction from Jays manager Charlie Montoyo we have rarely seen. He was livid. Nelson, who basically looked like a guy who'd been drinking the night before, threw Montoyo out, and I love this reaction. If the Jays are going to have a big year, they cannot let incompetence by others get in the way. Message to all umps coming to Toronto. Don't do that. Just don't. Arden Zwelling from Sportsnet joining us. Arden, I think we all agree on the Jeff Nelson performance. I want to move past that and talk about Charlie Montoyo. I haven't seen Charlie like that often. I liked it. Did you like it?
Yeah, it was great. And what's interesting is if you'd watched Charlie in the minors, like much earlier in his career, you would have seen that much more coming up through, his climb through, I guess, the baseball system. He was a hothead. He was a guy who would storm the field, who would throw stuff, who would scream and shout, who would swear. And then really, as he got older and he had kids and he learned a bit more about life, he just kind of cooled off and he kind of became a bit more of a mellower guy. So that's always been within Charlie, and he's always had it. And I think that was a great time to use that tool, if you want to call it that, because the last thing you want is the Blue Jays for a player to be the one going at the umpire and getting thrown out of the game. Charlie Montoyo doesn't stand in the box and he doesn't stand on the mound. He can't impact the game in the same way a player can. So you want your players to stay in the game. If somebody has to get thrown out for arguing, you'd rather it be the manager.
No doubt. Arden, do you find in your history covering this league, when there's an incident that early in the season involving a manager and the team, can that have repercussions down the line? Like if Charlie Montoyo, if that video Montoyo coming out circulates, like can that help a team long term? We're seeing Nick Nurse trying to work the officials badly against the Sixers. It's not working. Do you think it can work here though?
It could. There's an intangible impact to everything that happens, right? And it's so hard to know without being in there, and it's so hard to measure. But I think as a Blue Jay, you'd rather see that Charlie Montoyo has your back and he's in this fight with you, and that he's going to go, straight to the wall with you rather than not, right? It beats the alternative. So I think absolutely as a player, you liked seeing Charlie getting run there and going out and really speaking for everybody, right? Because it wasn't just Charlie who was mad. Charlie wasn't the one who had strikeouts put on his record for the rest of time. It was the players who lost money and lost a win over that, not so much Charlie. So I think the players appreciated what he did.
And for people at home, just before we wrap up, who are saying, okay, well, it was only 12 calls against the Jays. It's not a big deal. You ask a major league hitter what the difference is between a 2-1 count and a 1-2 count, it is everything. So just if you're trying to make that argument, save it for someone else, because I don't really want to hear it. Arden Zwelling does a terrific job on Sportsnet. Check him out on the website. Check him out on Twitter. If you're not following Arden on Twitter, you're not doing it right. Arden, we appreciate you, man. Thank you.
Be well, Sid. Thank you.
Take care. Jays are 6-5. They lost the opener at Fenway last night. Jose Barrios on the mound tonight. Check it out on Sportsnet 1.